new channel strip for drums by Melda Production Audio. So this is an all-in-one plugin suite for all drum sounds, acoustic drums mostly, right, for rock and metal, but of course you can use it in other genres as well, but it's made more towards acoustic drums. All right, so this plugin has different processors built in here, right? Depending on you need to insert this plugin, for instance, on the master bus of the drums, or in the drum bus, for instance. I have it engaged here on the drums. All right, and you can use them on the separate channels of the drums, right? I have them here on the kick drum, on the snare, on the toms, on the overheads, and on the room microphones as well, right? So let's open the plugin, and you have here the different sections of the plugin, right? Which since I am in the drum bus, I have here the master, right? And you have here several plugins in one. You have a compressor, you have this multi-band glue, you have this glue which is compression, right? And you have tons of control over them here. And you have also here, for instance, extra controls for depth, warmth as well. And you have also like different emulations of glue compressor, bus compressor, like the SSL Neve 1176, right? And you can introduce more like percentage here to get more character off of that. You turn off and turn on all of the internal sections that you see here, right? And you have this also EQ, graphic EQ, which by the way are pretty ready for drums, right? For acoustic drums, but of course you can tweak them further. You have EQ, you have reverb as well, different, all of these reverbs ready to go here. The pre-delay, dry, wet, length, filters as well for the reverb, and you can enable also the maximizer, which is like a limiter for the drums, and a saturator for the drums. All of this is here at the left as well, right? The first thing that I recommend you to do is to click here on play the audio, click on auto input, and this will analyze the audio, the incoming signal, to give you analyze the audio to give you an optimal result, right? It's like a gain stage for the plugin, something like that. And you have here, yeah, you have drive and output, all of this for the master, right? But if you go here to the left and you are on the kick drum, for instance, you put here this, and you're gonna have an EQ section that you move like that, and you have here power to add second, third harmonics, order harmonics, and you can use this as an EQ pretty much, right? Which here it's the fundamental, and you start to tweak the sound with this different philosophy of using EQ, right? Instead of like having the frequencies and stuff, this one it's built for the kick drum. And then you have dynamics here, which is pretty convenient because you have this circle here, and you can move this to add compression, squash, dynamics, or slap, right? You move this dot and see how this is changing here as well in the right. You can do it manually here individually, or you can do it like that. Very, very convenient. You have also reverb and resonance killer. You have it here, maximizer, saturator, and you have here also bleed killer, right? If something is bleeding a lot into this kick drum microphone, for instance, the snare or something, and also a gate. So a lot of control, right? And if you move to the snare, you have something similar, right? The EQ, but this time around the EQ is gonna be more focused on the frequencies of the snare, right? So you move here the fundamental, which is the the lowest and loudest frequency of the snare, and you move it like that to the right or left, and you can add more stuff like this, right? And tweak them with this. Pretty cool. You can add ring, air to the snare, right? And this will save you a ton of time, because everything is pretty much set, and you can make small tweaks and you're gonna find great results. Reso killer as well, resonance killer, dynamics, reverb, and of course bleed killer and gate, all in one window, right? Pretty convenient. Saturator, maximizer. And also for the toms, you're gonna have this, right? You have bleed killer, gate, EQ, like the others, but you don't have compressor here. I think it would be cool to have compressors on the toms as well, and resonance killer. Then you have the tom bus, right? The same stuff, gate, dynamics, reverb. You have the hi-hats as well, with EQ and resonance killer, gate, and compressor, which, to be honest, I don't use a lot of compression on the hi-hat anyway. Overheads, and yeah, EQ section, dynamics, reverb, resonance killer. This looks like a lot, maybe. It could feel like the window is overcrowded, but I think it's pretty convenient to have them all in one window. You can also use a parallel drum track and use this parallel processor, right? And the master, of course, that I already checked out. So I'm gonna leave this one here as it is, and I used here the MDrumStrip on the kick drum with this section, and so on and so forth with the snare, toms, and overheads as well. As you see here, I have the profile loaded and the room. So this is the drums without any processing from this Melda production plugin. Okay, let's engage the mix bus, or the drum bus processor, sorry. Right, too much reverb. Compressor. Okay, then, right, let's move on to the snare track that I have here before. Let's turn off. I'm sorry, let's move to the kick drum first, but let's turn off the reverb here on the drum bus. Okay, bass drum here. You move here the fundamental. Okay, you can add more stuff here. Slap. And compressor dynamics. Squash, slap, reverb. Before, super boxy, right? Like cardboard. And I didn't even move a lot. This is like the by the default. Okay, let's move on to the snare. Okay, the snare drum. Okay, more compressed. And you move this. Ring, air. It opens up a bit the snare to the sides, right? And let's check out the toms here. All right, the toms. Okay, the toms, let's turn it on. You can use gate, right, for that tail, that resonance. Let's add some slap. Okay, it's not doing much, but you can use some saturation. All right, I think I was wrong before when I said that the toms didn't. Oh, the hi-hat, or no, the toms, I said that there was no compression, but yes, you have a dynamic section. I was wrong about that before. And then the overheads. Right, pretty compressed. And let's engage the overheads here. Very cool. It left out kick drum and snare, and it's only leaving room for the overheads to shine more, right? Because it's turned off here by default kick, bass, mids, and all of this here you could find the snare and kick drum. Listen. Treble and air. Okay, cymbal killer. Pretty cool. And finally, the room. Okay, let's engage it. It's compressing. It's really smashing the room sound with saturation. Yeah, here's the saturator, the maximizer. Yeah, removing some low end with this EQ, right? Pretty cool. Now let's take a listen to the whole drum kit, before and after. Okay, with, before, right? It's more polished. Maybe there's a bit of over compression on something here, or due to the saturation. Yeah, the maximizer as well. Right? Probably more volume here. In one plugin you get a ton of cool stuff, and Value right now has 83% off at the moment, introductory price. So I'm gonna leave you all of the applicable and downloadable links in the video description. And the first comment